We're back. It is indeed the Mike and Mark Show for BizBuzz, and we have with us in the studio Angus Menzies from GunnerCooke, a very different law practice or firm.
Come on.
And Nick Hutchins from Ergo Wealth. Nick's a financial planner, knows all about Bitcoin. So we're going to change the subject there. I'm always talking about, well, I see a lot of articles about this particular subject, and I've sent another one in. It's a club that Mark on this show said he felt he ought to belong to, and that is the Club of Psychopaths. And there's been quite a lot of work over the years identifying the fact that if you look for a psychopath in the general population, I think it runs at about 2% consistently. If you look at senior management as a population, it's much higher rate. You get a lot of psychopaths make it up the tree to senior management.
Okay.
Here's an article that might knock this subject on the head, and we don't have to raise it anymore because it allows you, if you listen closely now, to identify if you know anybody who fits this profile. And they've given us 7 signs that you're working with a psychopath. Now, where am I? I'm just going to give...
Can I contradict you yet, or shall I let you keep going first?
Contradict me? Go on, then what are you going to do?
Well,
what have I said wrong?
It says a list of 7 traits which could be linked to psychopathy.
Yes.
And not to contradict you, but just to flesh out what you said.
Because it says the headline is 7 signs that you're working with a psychopath.
Yeah, but we know about headlines. The detail is, it says it creates a list of traits which could be linked to. But early on it says, study of 261 US senior professionals, supply chain management industry, found that 21% had clinically significant levels of psychopathic traits.
Yes.
So compared to that 2% in the general population, huge.
Yeah, I don't know what the figure is generally across industries and across countries, but obviously in the US, and obviously if you're in supply chain management, then there's a good chance 21% of you are going to be psychopaths.
So go on, give us number 1
Okay, number 1.
And then I'll disagree with you.
Yeah, exactly. Listen up. Is this you, or is it anyone you know? Have a sadistic motive and intent. And this guy said, the guy who wrote the article said that I think the most telling sign is their sadistic nature. Okay. Number 2 is that they are good as being... What?
It should say at, yes.
I'm going to say at, yes. Yeah. They're good at being falsely charming. So they're not actually charming, but they know how to look and be charming. Very smooth operators. Number 3 is they display worrying signs of confidence. They are unwaveringly confident, will continuously remind people how great they are, and they're not afraid about breaking society's norms because they believe they can get away with terrible behaviour. Number 4, they're always bored. Number 5, they are pathological liars. They have an intellectual honesty that they knowingly revert to, and they don't care if they get caught out. They'll simply lie again. So they're not embarrassed at being caught out lying. They just lie again.
I've got a big smile here because I know where we're going.
You know where you're going.
I'll let you do
they manipulate without remorse. They're very apt to accept the credit for something when it goes right, but when it goes wrong, they'll look for a scapegoat so that somebody else can take the blame. And finally, they're very quick to get angry. Now, does that sound like you?
No, it doesn't sound.
Anybody?
There are some aspects of it which I'm going to put my hand up and say that's me.
Okay.
But in terms of 7 out of 7, nice.
Who do we reckon?
It has to be nice, Mr. Trump. It has to. It's just a textbut definition.
That's why I sent it in. I was just looking at it again as just another article. Where did I get it from? I got it from HR Grapevine. Just another article on psychopaths.
Pathological liar, quick to anger.
Yeah.
Hello. Manipulate without remorse. Always bored. He's always flitting to something else. And I've just got to click back on my computer.
The tiny thing is not afraid to be caught out to lie. I have a feeling.
Not afraid to be caught out and then just tells more lies. Worrying signs of confidence. Yeah, worrying in terms of is he going to press the button. Good at being falsely charming, and sadistic motives and intents. Hello, Mr. T.
Now, the CIA may be on their way over to see you as we speak.
Come and see me. I know.
Bring it on.
Angus, can you defend me if I get done there?
I mean, is it are there lies, or does he actually genuinely believe it? I mean,
there's a psychopath. There's almost, I think, no difference between the two. It doesn't matter if he doesn't believe it. It's got the same conviction because it's just a lie. What's it matter if you lie?
It's something said purely to achieve his objective.
Yeah.
That's the motive. And that goes back to number one about sadistic motive and intents. And I'm not sure about the sadism side. I know a lot of people
I see what you mean.
I would say, I don't think that Donald Trump is, just to pick a name out of the hat, is being in any way sadistic. I think he's about self-aggrandizement. It's not about the other people, which is what sadism is about. It's bigging himself up. It's meeting his personal needs, whether they're financial, political, familial, or whatever else.
But he does motivate through fear, which I think is the...
Oh, yeah. Big time. The scene in the Oval Office where in public on television he got all of his cabinet or whatever they're called to one by one tell him what was great about him. Come on.
Well, I'm intrigued. We have with us...
Which trait would that come under?
Well...
Or which one wouldn't it?
He's probably also a narcissist, but we have with us an employment lawyer, and I'm just intrigued, Angus. Have you ever had to defend someone who was accused of being a psychopath, or have you ever had someone in court who works for a psychopath and you've had to sort of prosecute the psychopath?
I mean, I've definitely worked with businesses where there have been senior individuals who have been very successful, and that has been almost that has allowed them to get away with stuff which they really shouldn't have been able to get away with. So they've been successful in terms of enhancing the business's profitability, its value, and as a result of that has been all, some of their more antisocial behaviours and some of the ways in which they treated some of their colleagues. They've been sort of allowed to go unpunished, if you like, or even unmentioned, and yet. Other senior people would openly say to me, what can you do? He's a psycho.
I used to run a stationery company, had 10 employees, and I was always concerned that there were 10 people's mortgages getting paid or not getting paid if I went bust, which thankfully I didn't. So, it's...
Another reason you probably aren't a psychopath.
There are some things where...
Because you don't have to be criminal. You don't have to have criminal intent to be a psychopath.
No. But if we look at number two here, they're good at being falsely charming. Actually, as one trait and a psychopathic tendency, I think most people in business, particularly salespeople, probably fit this bill. I'll say, "Hey, lovely to see you." It's falsely charming, and
exactly. I mean, psychopaths are incredibly well socially skilled, but they use it to a different end.
If I was a true psychopath, I'm prepared to.
It's a club you only want sort of associate membership of.
They lack empathy, don't they?
I'm just looking at you all because just to fill you in, we have about 14 minutes left.